WDSU investigates school zone speed cameras and questions over if they're even legal to be on right now in New Orleans.
Yeah, under a newly signed state law, the cameras cannot be activated unless the city and school system have an agreement in place. They do not, meaning tickets recently issued may be invalid, and that's according to some lawyers. But the reason an agreement hasn't been hammered out, arguments over who gets the lion's share of the money collected.
Here's WDSU investigator Travers Mackle with part 2 of Speed Trapped.
The school speed zone cameras on Canal Boulevard are on and working. The signage up, the lights flashing, and under a new state law signed by Governor Jeff Landry this summer, money generated from the cameras in school zones in New Orleans is set to go directly to the school system.
Have you all gotten any money from the city when it comes to school zone speed cameras?
We have not yet. We're still negotiating with the city on the CEA that's required in the legislation to determine how the money will be split between the schools and the city.
The CEA is a cooperative endeavor agreement. The law says that must be in place before any cameras can be activated, and any money collected from drivers speeding near schools must be split between the city and the school system. But as WDSU Investigates first revealed in our Speed Trap reports, the city and Orleans Parish Public Schools have no such agreement signed and in place. But the city flipped the cameras on anyway and is putting the money in escrow until a deal is brokered.
The law went on the books in August. It was passed in June, and there's still no agreement in place with the city. Has it taken longer than you would have liked?
Absolutely.
Katie Bodwin is the Orleans Parish School Board president. She says the holdup shines a light on political infighting. City Hall, the Cantrell administration, and school administrators cannot decide how to properly split up the revenue generated, which is typically well into the millions of dollars each year.
Is this a case where they could put the money where their mouth is in this case?
Absolutely. They can put their money where their mouth is just by getting this deal signed, having it be a fair split. I think maybe people can disagree on what that fair split is, but we know what's fair and what isn't fair.
And the split is where the holdup is, according to multiple sources. Those sources telling WDSU Investigates that the city wants to keep 80 to 90% of the revenue generated and give 10 to 20% to OPSB. We sent repeated requests to City Hall asking for an interview on this topic about school zone speed cameras and the split. They didn't make anyone available, but did issue this statement that reads, in part, as per advice from the law department, all revenue generated from school zone enforcement cameras is being held in escrow until cooperative endeavor agreements are finalized with each school.
That there should be some type of share.
The author of the legislation wants to know if that's even legal.
It is disappointing and a little disheartening that something as simple as the language around the CEAs being executed prior to the operation is something that they seem to struggle to grasp and comprehend and to enforce.
State Senator Stuart Cathy from Monroe says if no agreement is in place, all tickets issued since school started in August may be invalid.
Is it concerning if they are putting the speed cameras on without a CEA in place with a lot of these school systems?
I would think, look, y'all got a lot of attorneys in New Orleans, and I'm sure a lot of attorneys tune in, and it seems to me that there'd be a right for a lawsuit.
Should they even be on right now, and the money going into escrow if no CEA is in place?
I can't speak to that because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know whether that's legal or proper or not.
Right now, there is no time frame on when any deal could be brokered, but if you would like to challenge or appeal a school zone speed camera ticket, you can do so at City Hall. Back to you.